Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I title this message, Real Hope, Real Change. Real hope, real change. On this channel, I talked about false hope. I talked about those individuals who they give you a false sense of security. They put ideas in your head that don't come into fruition. I talked about the false prophets, and I talked about the liars and manipulators. But today I'm talking about those individuals who they know that change is coming. Those that encourage others with real hope. Those that give just a system or process or checklist on how to cope when loss shows up. When pain seems to be too much to bear. You mean to tell me that I can get out of this thing? Yes, because the writing is on the wall, because I've seen other people in your situation and they came out. But you don't know. No, I don't need to know all the details. All I know is that if you have the faith, if you believe, if you will get up and go to the necessary group or get the help with, resources and so forth, that you are going to come out of this thing. That's what I know. And then there's the statistical data, right? And then there are the testimonies. And then there are those just personal experiences where, yeah, I had much worse days. I've been through just far more trial in the past than I'm going through now. Yeah, I'm going to come out of this thing. You see, real hope. Real hope produces what? Real change. Because now that I know, now that I'm on that journey towards healing, then I can't help but change. Those people who knew me back then, they don't really know me now. They don't know if I'm coming or going. Because, well, it looks like you're defeated, during times when you're going through much. And so they just chalk it up that, that's it. It's over. And then you turn around and you come back. And you come back stronger than you were last week or last year. Whoa, what happened? I made up in my mind that I was going to hope for something good. I was going to hope for the healing. Come on, somebody who's sick, hope for the healing. I made up in my mind that all this faith, all this preaching and teaching and so forth, I'm going to hope for increase. And then the next thing you know, increase is produced. They wanted me to feel bad. They wanted me to feel defeated. They wanted me to feel guilty because I didn't dance by the beat of their drum. But instead, I put my hope in God and not man and not woman because they're so sensitive. You can't say but so much. You can't do but so much before they mark you. So I put my hope in the one true God. Yeah, you could put your hope in anybody and anything, just so long as you don't come my way, just so long as you don't you don't expect nothing from me. That's okay. I'm not even thinking about you. Hallelujah, Lord Jesus. And he does that. He will redirect us from the negative into the positive. He will use people to draw us out of the darkness and into the light. You used to think a certain way and thought in your mind that that was the correct way to think. Most likely it was negative. And then God comes along and says, if you would just change your mindset about this thing, this challenge, this trial, this person, I'm telling you that change is a coming. If you would just change your negative countenance, your negative opinions about the process, you're going to see where it is a benefit. That's for a leader. If you would stop going with what somebody or some group told you about faith, about religion, about those Christians or so-called believers. Maybe, just maybe, you will feel better on the inside instead of always on that struggle, on that fight with yourself or with somebody else. I want to hope, I want to believe, somebody says, but you don't know, back in the day, I'm not there back in the day. That was one of my issues, was that I wanted to be back in the day because back in the day was comfortable, because back in the day it was safe. And then the Lord said, you need to get with the times. And sometimes that back in the day is somebody else's back in the day. That was their struggle. That's not yours now. They want to hit me up with all this, your daddy, your grandmother, your whoever went through all of this with the white people. And yeah, okay. But I don't want to be there in that space, in that headspace, because that wasn't my fight. Let's just be real about it. What they went through, we can't even compare to what? Minor comments here and there, name calling. They couldn't get on the front of the bus. They couldn't sit at lunch counters. Sure, there may be still some places like that, but that is not typical. You can pretty much sit wherever you want to sit and go wherever you want to go. But people will do that when they don't want you to have real hope. And they don't want you to look for real change. They'll even come up with some false hope, false change, false anything, just so that you will get off of their trail. So that you'll just shut up. So that you won't point out why their philosophy is flawed. Why what they're telling people isn't working. Some folks will deliberately leave out details, especially some of these counselors, teachers, preachers, what have you, details because they want folks to keep coming back to them. They want folks to keep hope in them, in flawed man, in frail woman. Are you kidding me? I put my hope, my trust in the one true God. You see why there are those that will tell you, stop putting your hope in men and women because you're just bringing yourself down. But if you hope in the one true God, he will direct the paths of men and women. He will influence their mindset to do what is right in time. Or if that one around you don't want to behave or get right with the Lord or do what is right in general, that person gets moved out of your life. And then you are hoping in what? A better relationship, better connections, better network. I don't want to keep putting my hope in things that I know or in people that I know don't have no plans of making any real headway, real change. They're not making any effort in wanting to do what is right. We got those individuals who, I'm going to be this way. And I don't care what you say. Okay, well, I'm not going to be around to be your verbal punching bag or your physical punching bag. You see, you're free to be as mean and ugly and nasty and silly and stupid and immature as you want to be. But I don't have to be here for this. Understand that. And some of you individuals, you knew you were on that slippery slope with that husband or with that wife by the things you were saying and doing. And so you started having a real hope for your marriage, a real hope for reconciliation. I'm not about to let this one get away. When things get really bad for some folks, then that's when they say, okay, I got to make a change, a real change this time. See, there's that temporal change. There's that phony change. There's that I'm just going to be this way in the meantime, but I'm really going to be. And the Lord will allow some fights to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until you say, okay, I'm going to stop being fake with this thing. I'm really going to use real hope, real change to usher in a new future for myself and for my family. Good for you. But it's sad that it has to take so much loss, so much trauma and drama, another cycle of craziness for you to go, okay, I'm going to do it right this time. If she wants to be hugged, if she wants to be kissed, if he wants me to not spend so much time with my friends, if the employer wants me to show up on time, okay. You see, you give in because you know the consequences is just too much. It's too great. I can't keep fighting this fight. Some of you you threw your hands up. You said, okay, that's it. I give up. I'm going to move negative me out the way, and I'm going to start allowing positive me. And every time I get disappointed or triggered or what have you, I'm going to keep the hope. I'm going to keep the faith alive. I'm just not going to be that one that's going to keep saying, she's fake. She don't really mean it. She's full of, you know what I mean? Instead, I'm just going to say, okay, even if there's some hiccups along the way, I mean, we all make our mistakes. I'm not going to hold her to that. Next thing you know, that brother's relationship is so much better. Next thing you know, that sister, she's not on that struggle bus fighting with this employer and that one, because she's not thinking about all of the negativity that was dumped on her. And she knows that there's consequences for carrying that negativity. So she makes a positive change. It started with the hope. I hope that this is the right organization for me. I hope that this relationship goes the distance. I hope that my children become successes. I hope that there's money in the mail, right? You're hoping, you're believing, you're trusting. Even if it doesn't turn out, you just hope some more until eventually things change. But hope simply by itself, or faith without no works, is not going to get it. You got to do something. That's why some people get disappointed when you ask them, well, okay, I understand you had hope for the marriage, but did you do anything different? What do you mean do anything different? Did you do anything different? Did you listen to what your spouse told you and start implementing? No, why I got to do all that? Okay, well, there's no change then. You see? I hope that for some of you all, you're going to change your mindset in terms of whatever the trial that has showed up has put upon you. Sometimes God allows these trials because He wants us to persevere. He wants us to grow up. He wants us to mature. He wants to just make all of what He is capable of doing manifested in our lives, because maybe we didn't believe, but now you do. Because you done seen enough and went through enough. Oh, now I do, says the blind man. I see. But I'm thanking the one true God for real hope and real change in my life. And I'm glad to be a part of this move that is happening in my role as wife and mother and career professional. I am excited because I know that A lot of what's taking place in my life is because of the prayers that others as well as myself have said, because we activated the faith, right? We put some things in motion when we spoke positivity out into existence, when we wrote positivity, when we reached back and grabbed our sister and our brother's hand and said, listen, you need to come up out of this dark place that you're in. And have some hope, some real faith that things are going to get better. And not only have that, but be about bettering your situation. The man wants to have a great life, but he can't have a great life if he wants to keep abusing substances. He can hope all he wants, but if he's not proactively getting the help that he needs to get off the substances, then it's just not going to work. And you can cuss and talk crazy and say what God's not doing all you want, but God says, you got to do something different, my brother, my sister. You can't keep blaming other people. You can't keep going down that memory lane of negativity. You got to do some things different. What have you done differently? What sorts of change has been evoked as a result of your actions? Stop talking about what she need to do, what she ought to do. What do you need to do, my brother, my sister? The sooner you figure that out, the sooner you're willing to do what's right. And between those two things, change, real change, positive change will be produced. So stay motivated, keep your head above water. Trust in the Lord and lean on Him for the understanding as to what is happening right now in your lives. And may God continue to be with you. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Blessings to you.